Now recognize Ranking Member Morelle of our full committee for 5 minutes of questioning our witnesses.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and again, thanks to the secretaries for being here. I want to start, Secretary Thomas, with you. As I understand it, you allowed for the first time in-person early voting in the state of Connecticut. And as you look back on the election, what tools and techniques did you use? Particularly, I'm sort of interested, too, as it relates to misinformation and disinformation, but did you have any challenges with information as it related to early voting for the first time? And are there any challenges that you think you'll face moving forward that you have to adjust to?
Thank you for the question. Yeah, we definitely, I think, like states around the country, were struggling to explain how elections worked. There's this narrative that they are not safe, et cetera. So we did many things. We proactively, as I said, reached out to many communities, over 100 grassroots organizations. We also held regular media activities for the press, answering commonly misunderstood aspects about election administration. With our Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, we got together and put together a social media campaign in all communities to make sure that people understood where to go for trusted information. But as you say, I still think no matter what safeguards have been put in place, there's still this narrative. Most Connecticut residents think our elections are great, but feeding into the national news media, like I get emails all the time saying, disconnect our election machines from the internet, although they never have been. So I think we have this conflation of fear and mistrust that is often not well placed.
Gotcha, thank you. Secretary Allen, I noted in your testimony, you said, we do not, in Alabama, we do not accept any ballot received after Election Day with the exception of UOCAVA ballots, which must be postmarked no later than the date of the election. What's wrong in your mind with the idea of taking ballots that have been postmarked before the end of in-person voting on Election Day?
Because I believe in Election Day. Election Day is Election Day. We set it out in state law. It's set out in federal law. And if the further we deviate from that, I think it can lead. It's a very slippery slope.
Is it that you don't trust the U.S. Postal Service?
We've had problems with the U.S. Postal Service in the past.
Really? So when you file taxes with the IRS on April 15th, which is the filing deadline, if you file it, if it's postmarked, should you be fined for, or should you in some way pay a penalty for filing your taxes late?
Well, fortunately, I filed my taxes early this year.
Yeah, but April 15th is the deadline. So if you, but I mean, we accept, I'm just, honestly, I don't even mean to be argumentative. I just find this sort of a strange argument that voters in America could vote on or before Election Day, but vote in mail. But if it's received after election, you could have, to your point, you could have sent it in early. You could send it in 3 days before Election Day, but the post office, and you could send it by absentee ballot in most states, postmarked days before Election Day, and if it doesn't get to the post office by Election Day, why is, I don't understand the theory of that. I mean, I don't understand why that's an issue.
Again, Representative, I just believe that we have rules for a reason. The further we deviate from that is a very slippery slope, and well, if we start accepting, I mean, the date's the date.
But the date is the date, so if you did it 2 days before Election Day, you've done it, you complied with the date. There's no way that you're changing the outcome of the election after the end of the election period. I mean, unless you don't believe somehow the United States Postal Service is doing something to the ballots, I think we generally accept for all kinds of business things, tax purposes. I mean, postmarks actually mean something in America. Does anybody disagree with me? I mean, I'm sorry, I hate to belabor the point in my last minute, but Secretary Landry, do you subscribe to the same view?
I think the ballot should be in by Election Day, and that, you know, manipulation can occur once you start reporting results, that people can go out and gather more ballots and
no, not if it's postmarked. I mean, you could not, I mean, I hate to, this is like a physical impossibility. You can't affect the election after Election Day if you submitted the ballot prior to the deadline. It's just physically impossible, unless you go back in time or do something like that.
I think we should have an end date to the election, and the end date to the election should be Election Day.
Do you feel the same way about taxes also? The IRS should not accept anything that's postmarked before Election Day?
I don't think the IRS is the same thing, because they're not waiting to report a result of income tax collections, whereas the whole state is waiting for us to report the results of an election, and we need to give them the timely results to secure the confidence in our elections.